Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll learn about the remaining portion of the immunity and the allergy chapter. So without wasting time, let's get started with the video. So let's learn about the T cells first. The T cells and the B cells have a common point, that is they do not work against that antigen or bind to the antigen if they don't have MHC protein on their surface. MHC, there are two MHC classes, that the first one is MHC class 1 and the second one is MHC class 2. They should be present on the surface of the antigen, so that on the surface of the antigen presenting cells, or I can say the APCs. Now let's discuss what are APCs, or the antigen presenting cells. There are basically three antigen presenting cells. The first one is our macrophage. The second one is our B lymphocytes. And the third one is our dendritic cells. Now we are familiar with these two, but now let's discuss what is dendritic cells. The dendritic cells are basically the most potent of the antigen representing cells, and they are located throughout the body. So they are the most potent APCs. Present throughout the body. Right, and they present the antigens to the T cells. The MHC proteins basically bind peptide fragments on the antigen proteins that are degraded inside the antigen presenting cells, and then transport them to the cell surface, right? So there are two types of the MHC proteins. The one is MHC1 proteins and then the MHC2. So let's write it here. What are MHC proteins? The MHC proteins are the major histocompatibility complexes. Major histocompatibility complex. Right? So their function is that they bind protein fragments of antigen proteins degraded inside APCs and transport them to cell surface. Now the MHC class 1 present antigen to the TC cells. Present antigen to TC cells, or cytotoxic T cells, while the MHC class 2 present to the TH cells. Or the T helper cells. Now what these are, we'll discuss it. First, yes, remember that the T lymphocyte has almost 100,000 receptors on its surface. Now let's come upon the types of the T cells. There are 3 types of the T cells. The first one is T helper cells. Right? So the T helper cells are, first remember that they are CD4 positive. They constitute almost 3/4 of all T cells. Right? Then they perform their functions in many ways, and the most effective ways is production of the lymphokines. So serve their function through lymphokines. Now what lymphokines are? There are many types of lymphokines. Some of them are these are, first one is interleukin 2, interleukin 3. These all are produced by the T cells, but the interleukin 1 is released by the macrophages, as I have discussed in my previous video. Then it is interleukin 4, then interleukin 5, interleukin 6, and then granulocyte, monocyte, colony stimulating factor. We have studied it in our last chapter. You can check out my video on my YouTube channel. Right? Then interferon gamma. Now let's write their functions. And yes, remember that if the T helper cells are paralyzed, then almost all the immunity is paralyzed. If diminished, almost all activity of T cells, and the reason behind it we will see here while discussing the function of these interleukins or the lymphokines. Right? So the interleukin 2 has the function of the growth and the differentiation of TC and TS cells, cytotoxic T cells and the suppressor T cells. Right? Then the interleukin 3, interleukin 3 helps in the immunity. So immunity. Then we have our interleukin 4, 5, 6. These all perform the activity in the stimulation of B cell stimulation of B cell growth and their differentiation. Right? And it will help in the management or the control of their growth, as we have discussed in our last chapter. Right? And yes, one more thing, the most important thing is that the TH cells act as the amplifier for their T cells through the interleukin 2. So interleukin 2 is also called T cell amplifier because it increases its own numbers too. Right? So the next type of the T cells is TC cells or cytotoxic cells, which are also called the killer cells. Right, so these cells have a direct attack on the microorganisms. They basically forms the holes through releasing the porphyrins into the porphyrins proteins into the microorganisms, and thus forming the poles, and a lot of water then goes into the microorganisms, and then the microorganism swells and then burst out. Right, so act through porphyrins and form pores. Right, then our next type of the T cells is our T cytotoxic cells. Right, so T cytotoxic cells, from its name it's clear that they are the suppressor cells, which suppress the function of the Th cell and the Tc cell, and basically in this way they help in the immune tolerance. Suppress the activity of Tc and Th cells. Right, yes, one more point to noteworthy is that the Th cell and the Ts cell, these both are the regulatory T cells, because they regulate the growth of all these, while the Ts cells regulate the activity of these both. Right, so it helps in the immune tolerance. Now if this immune tolerance mechanism is failed because of any reason, and the Ts cells are not present, then the autoimmune diseases are caused. Now what are autoimmune diseases? So let's write here. Autoimmune diseases. In these diseases, the failure of tolerance mechanism. Now let's have its examples. The first example is rheumatic fever. In this condition, basically the body becomes immunized against the tissues in the joints and the hurt, especially in the hurt walls. Right, so immunized against tissues in joints, hurt, especially in hurt walls, right, and this is mostly caused by the streptococcal toxin. The second one is glomerular nephritis. From its name, it's clear that it would act on the body will be immunized against the glomeruli which are present in our kidney. So immunized against kidney. Then the third one is Myasthenia gravis. Immunized against acetylcholine receptor of neuromuscular junction. So it causes problems in the mental orders, muscular junction. Then the fourth one is systematic lupus erythematosus. It's the most common disease. Systematic lupus, SLE called erythematosus. So in this disease, the body is immunized against different tissues of the body. So immunized against different tissues. Now the immunity can also be provided by injecting some antibodies, right? So let's study that. Injection of the antibodies. Injecting antibodies, and this is called immunization. It means providing immunity, right? So the first one is injecting dead organisms. Through this way, the body is immunized against the bacterial diseases, typhoid fever, then whooping cough, right? And the last one was diphtheria. The second process is injecting toxins which are chemically treated, so they cannot harm the body. It helps in the immunizing against the tetanus, botulism, and toxic diseases. Then the third way is injecting attenuated organisms. It means these organisms are already treated with chemicals, or they are cultured so they do not cause harm, right? And these help to protect against smallpox, yellow fever, that is called pelia, poliomyelitis, measles, and viral diseases. Right? So this is, then we have what is passive immunity. The passive immunity is basically called, that is the temporary immunity provided through a passive means. So this is temporary. This is achieved by infusing antibodies, activated T cells, or both obtained from someone's blood. These were by injecting the microorganisms or the toxins of the microorganisms, while this immunity is provided by the antibodies. Antibodies injected that are taken from someone's blood. These antibodies last for about 2 to 3 weeks. Last for about 2 to 3 weeks. And the activated T cells, if injected, activated T cells if injected last for few weeks, right? The activated T cells, if injected from person, activated T cells last for few hours if injected from animal. Now let's discuss what is allergy. Basically, the allergy is a reaction caused by the any spams, etc. Right? And in this, the IgE antibodies number increase. First, write that what are they. In this, the non-ordinary response of immune system occurs. Then some chemicals are released in the allergies. Now let's discuss those. The first one is histamine. The second one is protease. The third one is slow reacting substance of anaphylaxis. Basically, the slow reacting substance of anaphylaxis is a mixture of leukotrienes, 3 leukotrienes. Then eosinophilic chemotactic factor, and the reason of why it is chemotaxing, the eosinophilic chemotaxic factor, I have described in my previous video. Chemotactic substance. Then we have our neutrophilic chemotactic substance. Then we have our heparin. And for the coagulation properties, there should be platelet activating factor. Right? Now let's see some examples of the allergies. The first one is anaphylaxis. This is the allergen reaction action caused by the This is basically the allergen can react with the basophils of the blood and the mast cells in the tissue located immediately outside the blood cells. Now, if the basophils and the mast cells are sensitized by the attachment of the IgE reagents. Now, let me tell you first that what are the reagents and what are the allergen. Allergen are basically what causes the allergy, and the reagent are basically the IgE antibodies, right? So these are the reagent, while the factor that is causing the allergy are called allergens, right? So these are the allergen and reagent reaction. So the allergen and reagent reaction causes some of the effects. So this is caused by the allergen reagent reaction in outside small blood vessels, right? So the widespread allergic reaction occurs throughout the vascular system, and yes, closely associated tissues are affected, and this is called the anaphylaxis. So in this, the histamine is released, more, and the person can die because of circulatory shock. And treatment is epinephrine is given to the patient. Now the next one is urticaria. Urticaria. The urticaria is basically the anaphylactoid reaction it results from the antigen entering skin. So the allergen reagent reaction caused by caused in skin. So the swelling occurs, and this swelling is called hives. Swelling occurs called hives. Treatment antihistamine. The next one is our hay fever. This occurs in the nose. In nose, histamine released. Right? So swelling in nasal lining, and a typical sneezing syndrome occurs. Then the last one is our asthma, and asthma is a well-known reaction, allergen reagent reaction caused. So it's asthma, right? So the asthma, basically this reaction occurs in the bronchioles of the lungs, in bronchioles of lungs. And this occurs to the because of the products released from the mast cells and the basophil cells, right? And So its treatment is antihistamine. So guys, here we are done with our chapter. I hope you will like the video, and like my video, comment on my video, share my video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you guys.